Hello everyone, and welcome to another horror movie review art time-lapse video with me, Angela of Morbid Heart Designs. I am finally getting around to continuing something I've wanted to do for a really long time, and that is going over the classic monster movies from Universal Pictures. I have done previously Creature from the Black Lagoon and The Invisible Man, but I wanted to start with what I'm doing for 2021 with one of my favorites, one of the first I ever saw, and definitely captured my imagination in my teens, and that is the 1932 Mummy. This is a fantasy horror movie, though in my opinion there's really not any horror to it. It's definitely a romantic movie in my opinion, but the fact that he's a monster and definitely influenced a lot of the horror genre, we will continue with the horror label. Probably was scary back then. I don't know. I wasn't around then. The Mummy focuses on an Egyptian mummy who's come back to life because of archaeologists saying words on a scroll that they shouldn't have said. And this mummy begins to search Cairo for the girl he thinks is his long-lost princess. But things get complicated when another gentleman in the proper era has fallen for her. So we end up with a love triangle of sorts, and magic and mystery and monsters. The love story of this plot very much felt like a Dracula love story to me, just to put that out there. This is directed by Karl Freund. It stars Boris Karloff, Zita Joanne, and David Manners. First of all, I love the mummy makeup that is in the beginning of this movie. Even throughout, when the mummy makeup starts to come and go, it's very well done and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd be interested to see how it looks in colored photography or colored film, just given the black and white. They had to go extremes with colors and effects to get things to come out correctly and to stand out with the limited color scale they were working with, so I'd be very interested to see what it looked like in real life. The acting is definitely stylized for the 30s, I bet you're not surprised, but I do think it was well done by everyone involved in this movie. I don't know what it is about older movies, but whenever I watch them, I feel like I'm watching a live stage production, and it's not a bad thing, definitely not a bad thing. But it's interesting to me that I feel like that. Between the projection, the enunciations and inflections, and it just is a different feel of acting compared to what we see today. I wonder if that's partly because we rely so much on sound effects and soundtracks now to help establish moods in movies. One thing about watching older movies is I love seeing how far we've come in that profession in all aspects of movie making, from the acting, the costumes, the sets, the lighting, the effects, everything. I really enjoyed the effects that they did with the eyes of our mummy when he's not really a mummy, Imhotep, when he uses magic. I really enjoyed how they did that. I did try to find a video to see how it was done that might explain things, but I wasn't able to do that, and I don't know with our modern technology if it's really worth looking into because we don't record film on whatever this was recorded on. A lot of the costumes are 1930s styled clothing. I really enjoyed the costumes influenced by the Egyptian culture in this movie, particularly when our main character Helen is kind of going in between the psyches of her in this movie and the Egyptian princess who her soul is connected to because reincarnation. Seemed really shiny and blingy, and I really liked that. I'd be interested to see that in real life, it moving and how pretty it looks, but it also kind of looks like a Halloween store costume. Now, there's a lot of really good things about this movie, but there's one thing that is worth mentioning, and it's totally something you shouldn't do, and that is taking a white actor and painting him, his face, or her face, or body, to being a darker skin tone. That's what they did in this movie. That's one of the few negatives I have to say, is that just don't do that. That's a bad idea. Don't do it. If you like older horror movies, you like the history of horror movies, you like older movies in general, this is definitely one for you. If you're not into that, I would just bypass it. It's not a movie for everyone just because of how old it is. The artwork you see finished before you was done in October 2020. This is from Inktober. So, Planning on doing Inktober for 2021. If you want to hang out on my Twitch streams, just to plug that while I can and see what I do or create, or follow my socials. I'll post those daily when it comes down to that, but that's still a ways away because it's like March. Thank you as always to my patrons. You too can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. Some of the benefits are you get early access to my videos, thanks in all of the videos and all of my Twitch streams, as well as access to Patreon exclusive videos. If you're interested in my art, you can also get higher tiers that get art sent to you either digitally, you can download it, or physically mailed to you. Thank you to my patrons as always. I greatly appreciate your continued support, and I hope you continue to enjoy what I am doing. And from my dark heart to yours, have a wonderful day, and please don't die before my next video.